Good morning, everyone. I have the day off again, unexpectedly. Yesterday it was rain, and today it's just because. So I wanted to share with you something that happened with me yesterday, or to me yesterday. I had got up, best mood, knew I had the day off, wanted to run to the hardware store, get a few more things for my garage project, and just keep my mind busy throughout the day. Sitting still drives me crazy and not being able to feel productive or do something. So yesterday I got up, got my list, drove over to Raymore to go to Lowe's and Sam's, and I was doing fine, just walking down the light bulb aisle, the tool aisle, and just, I thought minding my own business. Then out of the blue, something triggered me and I couldn't stop shaking. I thought my legs were going to give out. I didn't know, I've had them before, but I've never had a panic attack in public. So I just thought, well, I'll just get to my car, put my card away. But I could barely make it to the front of the store because I knew I was either going to faint or something was going to go wrong. So I went up to the front and I asked the ladies if I could sit on the little bench and just breathe through this panic attack. I did pretty good. But the tears just cracked wide open. I couldn't quit crying. Decided to call a friend and ask her to just talk me through it. She has the best sense of humor and she's just amazing. Her voice is calm. She has the best giggle. I want it in a Build-A-Bear when I have tough days because her laughter just lifts me up like you wouldn't believe. Anyway, so she was talking me through the panic attack and I thought I did fine. But I just wanted to let you know, in some of the things that I'm learning going through trauma therapy, I had my life together. Everything was great prior to this divorce. And it just really put me on a path of really trying to dig deep into mental health so that I can share more with others what triggers are about, how to handle them, what to do when you have a panic attack, how to breathe through it, how to just feel normal and not be embarrassed or ashamed if it happens to you. I was not afraid at all yesterday to tell somebody that I was struggling. Again, I don't know what the trigger was. I don't know if it was because my spouse and I always did projects together. That was one of the things I loved the most, is working in the garage, working in the yard, or just doing things together, and him teaching me things. But anyway, I think that's what might have done it. And then turning that corner and seeing that Christmas aisle just really grabbed my heart. And I thought, there are so many people that are struggling right now. It's holiday season time, not my favorite time of the year anyway, because most of my childhood trauma happened at these ending months of a year. So it's not really seasonal depression because of the sun or darkness or anything. It's the seasons. Not a fan of Halloween, not a fan of just Thanksgiving pouring into Christmas. Love the holidays themselves, but it's that time of year of missing family, remembering things from my childhood, or knowing also that there are so many people who struggle the most during these seasons. Christmas is probably one of the hardest one. Mother's Day and Father's Day, I believe, would have to be the others for parents or somebody who's lost somebody. This isn't just about grief with suicide loss. It's about any kind of loss. So I just really wanted to share my panic attack yesterday, and then I'll be dang if I didn't gather my thoughts and went to grab lunch to go home and eat a couple tacos in my garage and carry about my day. And I had an unexpected confrontation that, thank God I'd already had the panic attack at Lowe's, because I probably would have fell to the floor. It was just something that unexpectedly caught me off guard, running into somebody that I knew and missed dearly. And anyway, I did well. Grabbed my tacos, came home and ate them. But I spent the afternoon thinking about things that I've learned in counseling and also in advocating for Choose to Live. One of the things that I really want to share with you is there is mental illness and then there's mental health crisis. I'm going to say what I had yesterday was a mental health crisis because trauma or something triggered me having anxiety. That would be a crisis moment. Mental illness is schizophrenia, bipolar, those heavier things that are correlated to mental health. My suicide attempt when I was 21 was a crisis. It had nothing to do with mental illness. The stigmas are that if you do struggle, you've got something wrong with you mentally, and that's not fair. That's not fair to the ones who truly have mental illness, schizophrenia, bipolar, PTSD, those other diagnoses of mental health. So I feel the stigma cheats those who suffer really hard and deeply with those issues. And then also it puts too much pressure on the ones that are going through a mental health crisis. It's not that we've got this broken mental mind or something medically wrong with us. It could be just something as the loss of a spouse, going through a divorce, losing a pet, struggling in school. Those are crisis times. And so I think we need to talk more about those things and help the people that are navigating it or walking through it to feel more normalized and more accepted. The other thing I wanted to talk about is grief and suicidal ideations. When I discovered the infidelity in my marriage, it literally broke me in a way that I had no clue. Did I have the thoughts of my suicide attempt? I'm going to be honest and say, yes, I did. I know the things that we have to do to keep those things in place. I have an incredible support team. I have friends that I can call any time of the day or night, and they are there to listen to me cry, laugh, or whatever I need to talk about. I know when to see a counselor to make sure that I'm held accountable for my mental health, my physical health, the way I eat, getting enough sleep. I know about all of that. But this divorce truly took me to those thoughts of, why do I want to stay here? So when I went to counseling, I shared that with my counselor. And I know that kind of the rules are, if you say that you are struggling with suicidal thoughts, that there's steps that they take. And if they think you are in a deep crisis, they will guide you into it being admitted or getting more intense therapy, medication, whatever you need. So I openly told my counselor, I have the thoughts. I know I won't act on them, but the thoughts were there. And I asked him if I was okay. And he told me, Robin, you are experiencing grief at a level that most people can't even comprehend. So it made me feel normal that what I was feeling was okay. I felt like I was grieving the death of a spouse, though he was still alive. I was grieving the loss of my marriage. I was grieving the safety net of having someone in my life that knew me inside and out, knew when I was having my sad days or my anxious anxiety days. So I was going through a lot of steps and a lot of things that were just thrown at me at once. So it felt amazing to be able to boldly say, hey, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm feeling. Am I normal? So he taught me different ways to navigate triggers. This is going to sound like a silly one, but I had a horrible trigger regarding that little recliner over there. That was where my spouse always sat. That is where I always sat when we had share our great moments of our day. We prayed together there. Just a lot of good memories in our house. So that stupid recliner, ooh, I'm gonna try not to cry. I couldn't even walk by it without going to the floor in grief that I couldn't understand. So here's the silly steps that my counselor talked me through. I had to close my eyes and imagine the recliner, feel in my heart and in my mind everything that I was experiencing in the moment. I also do this with trash bags. Trash bags are a trigger. Is the chair there to hurt me, or is it just a stupid chair? Well, obviously it's just a chair. So I had to process. It was the memories of the chair. It was the things that happened in the room. It was the things that connected emotion to my life and to what I was going through. So in closing my eyes, I had to imagine the chair and I would talk to it. He would tell me, talk to the chair. What do you want to say to it? If you're mad at your spouse, say you're mad at your spouse, scream at the chair, do what you have to do to the chair. I know this sounds crazy. In fact, I thought I was losing my mind when I processed this. Anyway, I would say, you're just a chair. You have no power over me. Nothing has power over my mind, my heart, my thoughts, my feelings, but me and God. So I would talk to the chair and say, you have no control. You have no authority. You're just a chair. You just sit in the corner. And so once I talked myself through that, it took a couple times, trust me. I would sit in this chair, stare at that chair, and just cry and release the feelings that I had when I wanted to break down just by walking in the room and seeing his chair. Same with my trash bags. I had to go, you're just a stupid trash bag. Yes, you brought out something to me that was revealed and caused an immense amount of grief, but you were just a stupid trash bag. So the counselor that I see has been incredible, helping me not only understand my triggers, but helping me to explain it to other people who are going through things and normalizing grief versus truly mental health illness or a deep crisis that you do need to get somewhere in counseling therapy, inpatient therapy, whatever it is you need. We all deserve it. I was grateful that I didn't feel compelled to hide what I was feeling because of running suicide awareness and prevention nonprofit. But I want to be bold and I want to be out there and I want to be able to help people. And what better way than to boldly share what I go through, the tips that my counselor gives me and the things that I navigate in my normal day, like a panic attack at Lowe's. So if you're struggling today, if you have things that are triggers to you, it could be a smell, it could be an object, it could be a memory, it could be a sound, a song. Sit with it, close your eyes, allow yourself to feel in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, in your body, everything, what it's doing to you, and just cry it out, take control over it. And it might take a while, but just keep pushing through the process. So it was nice to know that I wasn't as bad off as I thought, that it was normal to feel a true death-like feeling in the loss of my marriage. The details behind it are something that I pray no woman, no man ever has to navigate. because it's, at times I wish I would have lost him completely and not through the divorce. Whew, I'm not supposed to be emotional today. Anyway, now let's flip that to gratitude. I am so grateful for the things I've gone through. I am so grateful for the love and the relationship I have with God. I can be completely alone and feel lonely, but I'm not alone because I know he walks with me, talks to me. He holds my hand through prayer. He holds me in every way, shape, or form. And that's a safety net that nobody can ever take away from me. So I'm, again, reading this book. I'm going to point it out, The Pivot Year, 365 Days to Become the Person You Truly Want to Be. Some of it is so spot on that I catch myself reading 4, 5, 6 days in a row. But today really hit me, and I just want to share with you, if you're struggling, know that you matter. You aren't alone. There are other people out there going through the same thing. There are people going through day 1 of something you might be on day 497 of. So be open to share that with them, because you're helping them in their new walk of what they're going through will propel you even further than you realize, because it does show you how much you've grown and how much you have made it through the season that you might have just been stuck in or still walking. So I love to live my life in gratitude. In fact, today I am going to go out and spend time with strangers and see, excuse me, if I can recognize anybody that might look like they're having a tough day. But this is something that I wanted to share before we close. Do you know how many perfect moments are unfolding before your very eyes? Do you know how much you already have? Do you know how many quiet nights of peace you have already experienced? How many hearts have loved you? How many people would love to see your name pop up on their phone right now? Do you know how much you matter? Do you know how good you are? And I'm going to add, and do you know how loved you are, even when you're not told? So today, keep pushing. You can message me. Sorry for the tears, but then I'm not sorry, because I'm human, and I want everybody else to not be afraid to speak their mind or their heart. I would gladly walk up to a stranger and say, I'm having a rough day. Can I give you a hug? Because obviously in return, they're going to give you one that you probably need. I have so many friends in my life that have supported me through my good days, my tough days. I meet new people every day. I met a beautiful woman yesterday in a project I was working on, and she offered me a lamp. I already knew some of the grief she traveled through this past year, and I wanted her to know that I'm here even in my own grief right now of this season. I love helping people. I love helping people get through what they're going through. So, as I always say, you matter. You will make a difference. You are loved. You can message me. You can't give up. I know I'm not going to. I love you. Have a beautiful and blessed day.